So the 10-year anniversary of my first successful snowmaking is coming up, and I'm getting a little bit reminiscent of those early days of snowmaking. So I found some old pictures today. I'm gonna show, and I've uploaded these normally just as photos, but some of these require explanations. I mean, they just don't make a lot of sense without someone telling you what they are. So this one was the first time I ever got double-digit inches of snow on my yard. As you can see, I've kind of scraped the snow into the pile because it would melt, and so I kind of made this big long whale that was 10 inches in the middle. I just made snow every morning, and I mean, it didn't make a lot of snow. This was my very, very first snow gun, and I was probably 15 or 16 at the time, but yeah, made some snow. It's kind of exciting. Anyway, so let's move on here. This is actually the very, very first snowmaker I ever built. It never worked, but it looked cool. I thought it was just like the ones at the resorts that had a ring of nozzles around the outside. Eventually, this end part was cut out here, and there's a fan in there, so it's not quite finished at this point. But it was almost done, and I had to show it off, so I brought it inside, and my mom was really excited about it and took some pictures. And at this point, I think 12 or 13 is all. If we move on, here's after I got the snowmaker running really, really well. And just this is a pile of snow I made overnight. You can see it's 2.5, 3 feet deep in the middle, pretty big, and the fence was just plastered with snow. This is a really fun morning. I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun that night, just cranking up for. I think I made snow for 7 or 8 hours that night, and it was a lot of fun. That was the first time I made significant snow, and if you can't tell, I should be smiling. Maybe I was too cool to smile for the camera, but I was smiling pretty big that morning. This picture right here is when Channel 2 News in Salt Lake City came over and put me on the news for my home snowmaking machine. If you can see behind here, that is my pile of snow. It's at this point about 5 or 6 feet tall, and by the next morning it was about 8 feet tall. And let's see what other pictures we have here. Yeah, here I am making snow. You can see I'm about 6 feet tall, so it's probably about 5 feet tall there. And actually, I'm above it. I'm on the porch, so it's probably about that tall. And making snow with an old snowmaker that, I mean, just one of the first ones I used with a pressure washer. This was probably 9 years ago. First successful snowmaking was 10 years ago. This is about a year after. And yeah, it was really exciting to be on the news. I'm not going to lie. Here is the cameraman filming me, and this guy was interviewing me. It was pretty cool. And then you can see the pile of snow. And this little caution tape thing hanging down here was for wind. I didn't have like a wind gauge or anything. It just hung down, and I'd look out the window, and if it was blowing at all, I'd know that it was windy because I hated making snow in the wind. It always drove me crazy. It was my pet peeve. So I'd look out there and see. And also, I live in a very windy area, so when I talk about wind, it's a lot of wind, and so that was a way for me to tell. Oh, this picture, this is one of the very first snowmakers, and actually, this snowmaker this was probably weeks before I finally got my snowmaker to work. You can see I just kept putting it higher and higher because I wasn't making snow. I thought, it has more time to freeze, it'll make snow, but really it was the gun itself. And it was close. It was so, so close, but didn't quite make snow. And you can see how hardcore I am. It's freezing outside, and I've got shorts and a t-shirt on and some sweet gray socks on. So that might be the last picture. Let's see. Yep, that was the last picture. So just a few pictures from the history of me making snow, and eventually the company got started, and things just really went well. But these were the early days when it was just me and my friends making fun of me because I was buying air compressors and pressure washers with my hard-earned money, and so kind of a fun little thing to look back on and remember about, and kind of laugh about sometimes.